This is a video for day 3, radio buttons. And radio buttons are just another form of input. They're kind of like checkboxes, but they're round instead of square. And you can only choose one at a time within a related group of radio buttons. Unlike checkboxes, you can select one or more and so forth. And what I mean by related group, let's say like for a multiple choice test, a related group would be each question. So for instance here, I'm going to say, what is your favorite color? I'm going to have maybe 3 or 4 radio buttons, and you can only pick one of them. That's one related group. And then I'll have another question here, and I'll have 4 or 5 radio buttons, and that's another related group. And and you have to relate those using something called a group box, and I'll show you that in a second. So let's start by just having a question that requires one answer. What's your favorite color? So let's label 1 there, and then I'm going to put 1, 2, 3 radio buttons in. And then the text properties, just like checkboxes, are the labels for these, so you don't have to put a separate label in. So for this guy, I'm going to put a red, blue, green. So your favorite color has to be one of those in this case. So now, in order to group them, I'm going to look for something called a group box. And it's not located in the usual place where you'd find them up in here. You have to scroll down and it's here in containers, group box. So we're going to drag that up and just put it there, and you notice it's kind of like a picture box. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this little box here with the crosshairs. Now lets you move it around. I have to drag my radio buttons into it. So I'm going to open this up a little bit. I'm going to select, drag over all my radio buttons, and I'm going to place them right into that group box. Now, the text property for a group box is this guy right here. So I can actually get rid of this label and actually make the the group box property the question. What is your favorite color? And I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go in label 1, I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to click on my group box. I'm going to change the text property to what is your favorite color? What is your favorite color? There we go. So that's one related group of radio buttons. Let me make the group box a little smaller and place it up here a little bit. And then I'm going to ask another question. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, instead of dragging in another group box, everything, I'm going to right click on this. I'm going to go to copy, and I'm going to paste. And notice I get the same thing. Just remember, again, when you copy and paste, to change what you need. So I'm going to say, for the next question, I'm going to say, what is your favorite pet? What is your favorite pet? And this is going to be dog, cat, snake. And then we'll put a button in. And notice the default names for these. This is group box 2, as you can see over here. And these become radio button 4. This is radio button 1, 2, 3, radio button 4, 5, 6, and so forth. So let's throw a button in there. All right, sorry, those are my dogs barking at something out there. All right, so we want to put a button in. I'll put a button right here, and I'll say enter. And to process these, right, the simplest way to process something is I'm going to throw a label. I'll put a label for each one. Well, you know what? I'll just put one label, and I'll concatenate their answers. All right, so there's my interface. We want the code to execute when you click the button, so let's double click the button. If I can get rid of this, I double click on that group box. So we want to be in the button 1 click event. And so another important property besides the text property for a radio button is the checked property. So I'm going to say here, first I'm going to make a label, a string. Let's make a string and x as string. We'll make that something like you chose. You chose. And we'll keep string at that for now because we're going to concatenate to that depending on the properties of the radio button. So we're going to say if radio button 1 checked. If it's checked property, here it is right here. If it's true, that means that one was selected when they hit the button. So if that's true, we're going to say x equals x concatenated with, and that was red. And then we're going to say and here because we know they're going to select something else. Red and so like before, I'm going to copy this. And we have to do this for each radio button. So we have 6 radio buttons. There's the 3 radio buttons for group 1, group box 1. And there's the 3 for group box 2. Now you just have to go here. If radio button 2.checked is true, I'm going to say blue. Right, are these the colors that I did? Red, green, blue, yes. Red, blue, green. This I'm going to change to 3. This is going to be radio button 4. This one's blue. This one is green. Radio button 4 was dog, so I already have the and, so I'm going to put dog in here. I'm going to do radio button 5, and that's going to be cat. And then this one's going to be radio button 6, and it's going to be mouse. And then when we're done all that, after that endif, we're going to say label 1.text is going to equal x. Let me save it. And then let's run it just to make sure it works. All right, so let's say I'm going to pick green and I'm going to pick dog. There we go. And notice in here, within each one, I can only pick one at a time for radio buttons. Same for this one. Now, if you didn't group these, if I just had these 3 and then these 3 didn't group them, I can only select one out of the 6. So let me choose green and dog and see what happens. You chose green and dog. Let me choose blue and cat. You chose blue and mouse. Oh, hold on. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Let's see why this is. Well, first of all, mouse should be snake. So let's go back. This should be snake. That should be snake there. All right. So what happened was, I don't know why this, when I copy and pasted, this was change to radio button 6, and this was changed to radio button 5. You can see over there. So we'll just switch these two. Put this here. That's radio button 5, and I could have just changed the text, but we'll change this text to cat, and this one to snake. And then save it, and then I'm going to run it. So if I choose blue and snake, you chose blue and snake. If I chose blue and cat, you chose blue and cat. If I chose green and dog, you chose green and dog, and red and snake, you chose red and snake. So that's it for the lesson.